He's on here.
Is that gonna be a problem if it stays right here? Doesn't block your stuff. Good evening. Thank you for coming to select board meeting. Call the meeting to order. Apologize for being a little tardy. We're doing employee reviews. First order of business is to approve the minutes of May 16th Selectmen's meeting and the hearing that was on May 30th. Did good. So I make a motion, we approve them. Is there a second on that? I second it. All in favor? Both of them.
You want to pick wrong?
Yeah.
I just need to see it first.
Second. You need him to sign his time card. I said, did you need him to sign the time card? I think I signed mine a year in advance. You've done that before. Yeah. He passes down to the lovely lady homeroom. We got a lot because we were at a long week, right? We had a week off.
And that's
Well, not a week off. but-
everyone's paid this week.
Yeah. Is there anything besides the quarterly? Was there anything on payroll that's unique besides our normal quarterly pay and that stuff?
What the annual.
Yep.
statements.
Did we paid lawn care this time too? Great.
No,
No,
that's.
that's the
next
second.
meeting.
Gotcha. You have something to read for me? This is the big one.
Kathy, I did tell you the wrong amount for town reports. Did you see the correct amount?
No.
It's like $2,300 to print them and then $355 to mail them.
What do we use to print?
Grassroots.
Oh, grassroots graphics and yeah, they're awesome. They still next to Subway in Oxford? Yes. I'm just, I didn't see anything under the ordinary, but I just wanted to review. We have an extra payroll warrant this week because we went, we do 2 meetings a month. We had an extra week in there because of the long month, extra pay cycle. So we're just reviewing that last warrant. Has the Sandman come and delivered the rest of the
Not that
sand
I
yet?
know of. I think.
Do we need to call him? Oh, I want to look at the
it's
checks anyway,
resigned.
to see if the Sandman has come.
Resigned as road commissioner in Buckfield, so I was wondering if he's still around.
Lucas. Yeah. But Alfred did resign in Buckfield,
Oh, someone, okay.
Weldon, I meant.
Oh, I don't know. Lucas just resigned as road commissioner because I watched the
Alfred.
meeting. Oh,
His back still have to come in and sign,
who?
fire warden.
Yeah.
Oops, and sign it, yeah.
So I see under, oh, I'll go back. I would like to make a motion to, approve the warrants 23 and payroll warrants for May 22nd, May 29th, and June 5th.
I second it.
All in favor? That would be yes.
Shoot.
Did you?
Look
Oh,
at
she's
it.
still looking at it. Sorry. We can wait.
She just. She just approving around.
Yeah.
You have the AP one, yes?
What's that?
The AP ones?
This one.
Yes.
Yeah. I just had a couple questions on it. Okay. It says here summer roads for Jeremy Johnson and for McNeil Farms. Summer road budget, doesn't that start July 1st or it's in happening now
It's work they did in this fiscal year.
in this fiscal year?
One of them was a washout from. Rose and Jeremy put these together because of course Ben's not home yet,
Yeah,
so like
yeah,
the most
Darrington,
information I could get from him.
truck gravel excavation. This will use up the rest of the money.
No, there's still a little bit,
And the money for the sand is separate, right?
right?
When that arrives. Looks like they did some signage. That's good.
$12,894 left.
Bonding Roads, Green Acre Roads, Tucker Road, Church Street, road repairs. And then greater work. We got a porta potty, that's good. Okay. Yeah.
They also worked on the walkway going down to the beach.
Oh, good.
That was washed out real bad.
Did they put some rocks down in or what did they?
They put some gravel, 1.5 inch gravel.
I know they were talking about putting,
Yeah, I don't think that would be a good idea, crushed stone. I don't know.
I think they're, I thought they were talking about maybe some compacted something.
He put some gravel down. They haven't been down since he did it.
Now, would that be part of the budget or would that be part of the,
The beach budget.
okay, so, but it's, they haven't used any of the, ARPA
No.
funds for it, yeah,
Not yet.
right, ARPA? Yeah, for the beach, but it's, yeah,
Go ahead.
but,
They can put that rubber in to stop the washouts, you know, like they do up on Streaky Mountain. It's a heavy, thick, almost like a rubber tire. They put it at an angle. Have you seen that before?
yep, they do it at the windmills when they're climbing up those roads
Streaky
too.
Mountain, they have these
Yeah,
rubber-
Like a diverter.
and you can drive over, walk over them, but it's amazing how they, I mean, that hill's a 45-degree angle. You don't wash out.
Stops the flow of
Right.
rushing it down, yeah.
Yeah.
Geotex down might be a good idea.
I don't know where you get it, but it's as thick as a tire. It's just, yeah.
Where it's mucky and, muddy as it flattens out, before we get to a boardwalk, we put a couple pipes across there, hoping
You know, drain
it
out.
will go across instead of going across the walkway. We'll see how that works.
I know with them out, should we be checking to make sure all these roads are, all the road work's done or?
I know Brandon's been grading, I've been keeping up with him doing that. He's been doing a good job.
Good. Yes,
I have a suggestion about the runoff from Thompson Lane going down to the parking lot, the beach. Now, that's obviously not part of Pine Shores, or is that,
No,
does that drain into Big Bone, probably, does that drain into the retention pond on the, furthest side away from, Pine Shores? All that runoff, does that somehow funnel into that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good, thank you.
you notice any change in our CMP bills? I know we haven't been really running the heat pumps much for air conditioning yet, but have they been going up or
It's been
going?
about the same discount every month. Our bills are $31 for each building. They used to be 60 something.
but we get that monthly credit for each building.
So more or less cut our power bills in half.
For these two buildings, yeah.
So power up at other buildings.
Salt shed. I
Well,
should have put solar panels up there.
Are they running anything now?
There's a bill in there. It wasn't as much as it is in winter. but
You must have some security lights that run and. For the mailing. Yeah. You can tell we've had many things going on. We apologize that we're reviewing everything, but. And didn't have a chance to do it ahead, but we are. It's been that kind of week. Yep, sure has. It's like Monday, all 4 days. While she reviews that. RSU 10 report, we don't have a report again.
And he didn't attend the budget vote in Rumford either,
How many people did show up?
from Hartford,
Yes.
one. Because she was the town clerk in Sumner.
Oh, excuse me.
That was at the Mountain Valley, right?
Yeah.
That $270 for the porta potty, is that the annual expense?
No, 2
Yeah.
months.
2 months. And we will have it there for 6 months?
They,
Leave it done?
they're looking at the bill, they billed us for all months, and I only paid May and June out of this fiscal year.
You know, I was looking at the warrant itself, I didn't know. They're not done down to the. And they take it, how, do they take it back after Labor Day?
They should, but like last year, it was like 90 degrees
Mm.
after Labor Day, so I'll keep in contact with her.
A lot of change.
Statement, if you're looking at this one.
There you go. This is for AvCog, which one is, what is
State-
this?
The state bid on salt.
All right, so we're moving forward to the RSU 10 report. And as Leanne just mentioned, our representative wasn't able to attend the budget vote, that the last meeting in Mexico. So we'll have to have a conversation with that person and see if we're, what the expectation is for the upcoming year. Because with the huge increases going on in the school budget, we ought to be more, someone to have more time and be more involved.
Is he on the ballot?
Yep.
Do it again next year, is he on the ballot for that?
Yes,
He
Lucky.
never has given us one report at all this year, did he? That I can recall.
no formal report. I think we got some sideways news. They
Yeah.
talked to somebody and they report on it.
Do you want to vote on that warrant again, because you weren't ready?
Yep, so I will ask for a, here's my little agenda, here we go. Approve, warrant 23 with the payroll warrants for the 22nd, 29th, and June 5th. Kathy, you already seconded it. All in favor? Okay. Moving on to road report, we have information here. Regarding the salt bid. Would you take one down? You pass it down. And many communities going together to get the best salt price through the state. So we have 2 weeks to accept or reject the low bid. And if we choose to accept the low bid, we're committing to buying at least 75% of our stated quantity, which we report to them. And on the upper end price and received guaranteed up to a volume of 125%. If we reject the low bid, or if Maine DOT receives no answer, we will be out of contract and need to obtain our own salt.
I'd like to move that we go with the AvCog thing.
All right,
It seems to me that, I know that sometimes we've gone with Morton salt and it seems to me that wasn't as satisfying as the Eastern salt, am I correct with that, Leah?
The state bid is from Eastern Salt and it's cheaper.
Right, and then.
I know he had
That's
trouble.
quite big, which is $78.90.
No,
The
it's
state bid-
85.90. We're northern region.
Right, $79.90. So, and it's
Oh.
only $1 different.
No, on AvCogs, we're northern region, so it's 85.90.
Oh, 85, I'm sorry, I was reading the wrong one.
The state is 79.90. Same company though.
Was it Martin salt that Bim had problems with?
I think that's right.
so I move we accept the state, the AvCog, no, the state version, which is of the Eastern salt.
Because they don't care if we're north or south, evidently.
And at the lower rate, both from the same company, Eastern Salt Company.
Yep. I second it.
All in favor? Great.
79, 79 cents, or 79 millions.
We're considered the, well, it doesn't matter in the state one. There's no northern southern region. Great. All right, next on the agenda is the constable report. Steve, anything to report?
Gave out 6 warnings last weekend for, sickers at the beach. And there was a couple families there that had the daily pass, so it was nice to see those. And have anybody return to try again. So took a picture of documentation, paperwork and all that window. So that, and it's hot, so imagine it'll be steady again all summer.
Ian, did you hear from any of the families that got warned? Did they come and buy a new pass yet?
They didn't mention they were warned.
Okay. Did we sell many on Monday or Tuesday? Great, good, good. Right, code enforcement report, which we do have a report here. Do they have this report?
Yep, there was someone here.
Okay. So we're year-to-date plumbing permits issued 3, and last year we're at the same thing, a 3. Year-to-date building permits, we've had 13 issued this year, and only 9 last year, so there's some activity going on. Hey, I see that there's a Landry that applied for a new home. Roger Landry, any relation? Is that your family? No, that's an awesome thing. I'm just looking at I see Bim's applied for a barn. Very cool. Like a lot of activity.
Babysitter next door.
Great, next on the agenda.
I don't know if you want to address all these complaints or not, or put them on the next agenda, or.
Well, most of them we just got and really haven't had a chance to review them. I want to make sure we give them the time they deserve, including the several you emailed to us. They haven't even looked at yet. That we just got. What do you kids want to do?
There was one we looked at.
Lee,
It
yeah?
says
Lee?
one I haven't looked at.
Excuse me? What, do I think?
Do you wanna address all of these right now, or do you wanna-
Table this to the next meeting, or, I'm perfectly content with tabling them. I don't think any of us have had much chance to observe them. I think.
No,
we've
I-
received them.
Leanne sent like 4 or 5 to us. So I would like to table it so that we can do the justify what's here and get a chance to
You don't.
due diligence.
At least one of them is something about.
Yeah, see that one. Okay. ACO report, did we get anything from her this week? I know last month we did,
She's supposed to be here on the 20th.
right, for her review.
have her sign the kennel licenses that have been waiting for months while she's here.
So when she dropped off the mileage thing that she sent you and stuff, she never,
emailed that.
oh, she emailed that. Hard to sign those kennel licenses by email, huh? Okay. All right, planning,
And I did see there was something in the warrant about, lot on a stray cat, which she came and picked up.
yep, or I think it was her counterpart that came and picked up that was covering for her.
It's not the last, it was in,
Yep, yep. And some mileage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Submitted last meeting, the day of the last meeting.
Right, yeah. All right, planning board report.
Okay, first, I'd like some clarification on ordinances. There's, an ordinance to establish the planning board, and it says in it that we would create our bylaws, and then we have our bylaws. And those things were passed way before the administrative ordinance. And in the administrative ordinance, it says, the select board shall approve rules of procedure for each board. So are we allowed to amend our bylaws by ourselves, or do we have to bring it to the select board?
I think it has to come to the select board.
What?
I think that you propose them and the select board has to oversee
Okay,
them.
so that's a change, so probably needs to be redirected how we're supposed to behave on the planning board. But anyway, so we not paying attention to that. We wanted to add to the bylaws, since I figured out we should have submitted a report for the annual report from the planning board. We wanted to add language under the secretary's duties in Article 2, 2.24. Following the beginning of each calendar year, the secretary shall submit a draft of the planning board's annual report to the full board for its approval. And then we will subsequently submit it to the select board for the town report. And maybe change our bylaws.
That sounds like that makes sense. I think it does, yeah.
yeah.
Great.
Okay? So
Thank
we
you.
have to approve it. All right.
No, I don't actually remember the last time the bylaws of the.
Well, we did change them in 21 by omitting the fact that we no longer are recording meetings. And now
And
we're
did that
for the
come-
administrative
and did-
board,
was-
that predated the administrative board.
Right, did that come before the select board?
No, because back then, we had no direction that, we did not have an administrative ordinance that directed us, as it says in the ordinance, the select board shall approve rules and procedure for each board. So if we change a rule of procedure, which I would presume is a procedure that's incorporated in our bylaws, it has to be approved by the select. board. So
Me
that's
too,
why I'm
yeah.
bringing up such a mess.
Mhm.
And and that also means that those things have to be corrected, but anyways, so that was just one, issue. But then I was thinking further about, since with the new state law for having more residences on more dwelling units on various pieces of property, and the fact that there's a section from the comprehensive plan in 2008 as the town center and the intersection of 219 and 140 that would consider commercial development. The planning board would like to have a method to address commercial development by reviewing applications. Now, the comprehensive plan and I think even the 1992 comprehensive plan recommended we develop a site plan ordinance. That hasn't been done. Currently, the CEO would be the person to review any non-residential or not accessory to a residential use, incidental is what the word they use. He would review those kinds of applications. And the review process can be quite extensive because you consider stormwater runoff, signage, lighting, parking. There are so many things involved. As a matter of fact, the state has a 162-page document on how to do a site plan review to guide towns in developing a site plan review ordinance. So the planning board would like to change their procedure whereby the CEO would like our input, so we would like to have the ability to review non-residential applications only on a review level because we have no legal authority, because we are not being guided by an ordinance. We would just like to have that review process. And the only downside to that is that because of our delay approval of a building permit by a cycle of the plan.
That seems to make sense. You say non-residential, which basically means commercial.
What?
When you say non-residential, it basically means commercial.
Right, yes, non-residential or incidental to residence, like your sheds or your decks or anything like that. No, this would be, the intention would be for other kinds of construction that were not residential related.
In other words, commercial.
I'm trying to set up a process where we can start to screen stuff until we get a formal ordinance. So this select board approves
That's,
that.
to me, that seems to make a lot of sense.
Right, I would have to.
And this is what the CEO would prefer. He has stated that.
I would say so moved.
Yeah, me too.
Well, so if I say so moved, you can second that.
My second,
Did you get our letter about that? We asked you about that. We said that. Good.
Right, yes,
It's right before us. Right
we
now.
got it.
It says here.
It was just great to have the explanation face to face.
Right, no, it's right here, it's in our packet.
Okay, thank you. Awesome.
But it, it's a great letter. It's just nice to hear it voice to voice. And she's right here, so it's perfect.
We have a motion in a second on the floor.
Yes, so all to approve this new process. All in favor?
Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
then I have a question about that. So.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You, no more
I have-
questions.
Oh, I mean, about the general issue.
Oh, okay.
About the general issue. So the general mechanism to deal with commercial development is to have a site plan review ordinance. And it's very similar to the process of the subdivision in terms of all the meetings that have been set up and the public meetings and the notices and all the stuff that goes back and forth. But the actual way you look at the site has more things involved than the subdivision ordinance. Is that something you think the ordinance committee should deal with, or would you like the planning board to deal with it? Do you think that's possible to have it done within for the 2025 town meeting? I don't know how fast things move.
Do we have an ordinance representative in this room?
yes.
We do.
Yes.
Do you think that the ordinance committee could work with the planning board and get that ordinance set up so that next year's town meeting, we could vote on it? It has some deadlines prior to that so that we can get it on the agenda.
Depends on how complex it is.
Intensely complex.
On the state website, and the reason I even found out all about this is Sumner has one on their website. So you can see it for comparison. And Canton, CEO gave me the Canton's one, and they don't really have a site plan review, they just have a very brief commercial ordinance. But if you wanted to tell how the town's gonna look, a site plan review is a good thing to have.
And Daryl Boness just joined your committee too, so you've got some extra manpower.
And he understands.
Right. That's why I kind of thought, because you guys have a lot on your plate. I just want to share the wealth.
We'd be happy. I'm retired, and I need something to do.
Well, I'm happy to know that Peggy's been doing a fair amount of research already on
Mhm.
comprehensive
Well,
plan.
that's why I was thinking
That's the
the
next-
collaboration.
That's the next topic.
Because she's already got some great information on the ordinance. I just want the ordinance committee to meet and have purpose. And I think that if you're willing to work with them, which would be awesome, that'd be great.
All right.
Is there any other questions?
Yeah, well, the
Oh,
next,
good.
the next order, this is the
Absolutely.
comprehensive plan. And we know it's woefully out of date, and I've been sitting over in the town office for 3 days, reviewing all the materials that are available. For when they developed the 2008 plan, and that began in 2004. And I read the comments several times that the 1992 plan was inadequate and never instituted. So that means that the fact of not not following up on the plans that's going to be going on now for 30 years. So it's about time that we actually
Active.
not talk about dreams and actually describe things that can be done in the town to better
Right.
things in the town. And, I mean, the state gives horrendous estimates of how much it costs to do this. But I don't really see, I don't, from the outset, see the need for multiple outdoor, outside consultants, because we have our 2008 plan to go by. And, we just have to update a lot of figures and things and
We should be
recast.
able to get help from that.
What?
We should be able to get help from
Well,
that.
that was the other question. Nobody's been able to tell me if what you pay to AvCog for the town covers unlimited use of AvCog services or only so many hours a year, because I think MMA is so many hours a year.
Yeah, I don't, well, no,
Nobody knows.
I don't think so in the legal, in legal, the legal services, I think. I've never heard of limitations on legal services, but, I think that the AvCog dues cover a certain amount, and then, there are charges for some of the services.
So,
Since you're on the board, can you double check that for us and see where we stand?
Since I'm part of the executive committee,
Exactly.
I could.
and as the chair of the planning board, can I contact AvCog to get updates of some of the data, because particularly the maps I'm interested in. Because we have a process where we're supposed to certify every time we do a permit in the shoreline zone that's not affecting habitats, not affecting architectural, archaeological things, all these things, and we've never had any criteria that we look at. And the criteria actually you can find them in the comprehensive plan and the sources they relied upon to develop that plan. So I would like to update the maps so we can actually use those when we review our shoreline zone applications. Because it takes into consideration not just, how many feet from the shoreline, but also endangered species and the soil types in parts of the town and slope. I mean, there's other things that we don't even really look at currently when we're reviewing applications. Just
Deer yards,
what?
deer yards.
That's
There
a good
is-
idea.
She has that now.
She has that map. Wow.
What?
Deer yards.
Oh, yes, that's right.
It's just one of the many.
Yes.
There are so many things.
Wintering zones for deer.
Yes, it is.
There's a map.
That would be
of
my
that.
freezer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but we haven't considered those things, and that's what I just,
Well, it's, the comprehensive plan is incredibly complex.
I know, and that's why I'm getting myself stuck in, trying to
Yeah.
figure out all the pieces and how they go together. So I would like to see on top of that piece, I would like to suggest that the comprehensive plan review committee be reestablished, because the comprehensive plan states that that's what the people who were the membership for this would be the same membership for the review committee, and you have an ordinance that describes that exactly, which is
Then,
select board.
yeah, how many members are still with us?
Oh, of the original plan, I'm pretty sure that Judy Hamilton was an active participant, because many things were transcribed by her and signed by her. Lee was on that, Homa was on the plan, the committee, and Leanne was. And I think Boness both of them were on the review committee after the plan was established, but they weren't part of the original plan. I couldn't find.
Is there certain, is it the head of the
Oh, that's what they
ordinance
say.
and the
Well,
head of the,
this describes.
No, I know this.
Okay.
It's the select board, the road commissioner, and the heads of all chairs of all boards and committees, and you. Yeah. And the board.
CEO, I think.
Not by
code
name,
enforcement, I
but-
bet, yeah.
Yeah, and the code enforcement. It's in the heart of things every time.
Well, it's also, I mean, it's in the ordinance. Well,
Yes.
Leanne wasn't sure if the ordinance got defunct or not, she couldn't find a date on it. Whether it
No,
was-
it didn't. We looked up the administrative ordinance that was adopted, and they did not rescind the comprehensive plan
Yeah, so it's-
review committee ordinance.
No, yeah. And it said the chairs of each board or committee can designate a replacement or alternate member of the respective committees if they so choose. So It's the chairs unless the committees decide that somebody else on the committee would prefer to serve or have the time or whatever. So I'm suggesting that it get reestablished and we set up a date for a tentative initial meeting. And I'm going to do my best to gather enough information to present that to a group of people as to how we could possibly start on this project. And I realize we don't have a budget allowed for it, but if, as I said, if we do the stuff, basically getting the statistics to update from
AvCog.
AvCog and do it, both in 1992 and 2008 did a questionnaire. I just talked to somebody on the newsletter today that we could possibly get a questionnaire in the newsletter to cover postage.
Yes, because the Hartford News has been as many as 24 pages and as few as 12. So we can be flexible and have, the only problem is it's hard.
Well, I know it's not a town newsletter, so I didn't want to load it up with stuff. If we,
Well, no, I'm just
Listen,
trying to think
yeah,
how we could do this,
yeah.
do this for the town in a very cost-effective manner
Sure.
without incurring a lot of
Yeah.
expenses.
Leanne?
I think if you do call a meeting to order, you should wait until after July 1st. Cause
yeah.
a lot of people are gonna be reappointed or not reappointed and
Okay.
they have to
There'll be
elect a
elections.
chairman of each committee.
Okay,
Good idea.
yep, this is great planning. Pre-planning, awesome. All right, is there anything else that the planning board chair would like to share? Thank you very
They've
much.
been busy enough, thank you.
So awesome. All right, do we have any information from the ordinance committee?
Very little. We had a meeting in the kitchen last night and Daryl Vaness came, I was here and Jeremy.
That's a quorum, you know?
That's a quorum, yep.
Yeah. But we didn't have a whole lot to discuss because none of us knew what Bonnie had planned. So I think we have to regroup and figure
Yeah.
out.
I think Lou Brown's on that committee. And Bim, yeah. First,
We were talking today, normally the selectmen at the beginning of each year give a list.
Yeah,
for
of
ordinance.
priorities.
I don't think that was done last year,
nope, it was.
was it?
Yep, no spray. There was like 3 things that they were working on.
But it was review all ordinances. I thought that was mentioned at one time.
No, I think one was to
Yeah.
finish the no spray. I'll have to pull up my minutes because I attended most of those, but we gave him like 3 things to work on last year.
Well, we'll be getting a new one soon.
Oh, work on it.
Another thing that we were talking about this was, she thought that the ordinance committee was supposed to review all the ordinances to see if they interrelate appropriately, like I just brought up the fact that there's provisions in the planning board ordinance and their bylaws that now conflict with the administrative ordinance, plus the references to some of the state statutes, the actual statute numbers or names or how they were defined have changed. All you need to do is put them into Google and they'll tell you right
Tell you
there
which ones,
they've been
yeah.
changed to. Like the state planning office is defunct and now it's under the agricultural department.
And I do want to mention, it just popped into my head when you mentioned what you just said. One of the things that they were going to be reviewing was the subdivision ordinance.
Right.
That was one,
Specifically about the turnaround diameter needed for emergency vehicles. That was the concern that was raised when we went through the subdivision plan this spring or last fall.
Thank you. All right, is there anything from the fire warden? I do want to mention that I tried to get a fire permit from the fire warden. And when I called, all I got was you have reached with the phone number. It didn't tell me who it was, didn't tell me. And I just said I was looking for a fire permit and no one called me back. So I don't know if that's the real process. It's just a call and they're gonna call me back, but I get on the state site and got my fire permit.
I did too. It's easy.
Yep,
You can get fire permits right online.
yeah, I did. But my first step was I didn't realize that, so I called the fire warden and didn't get any information then, yeah.
So then what are the duties of the fire warden if you can get your permit online?
They might check out a call that says that there's smoke and it could be a fire.
So
They get pinged when a fire permit, from what I talked to the fire warden people, that each one of the local fire wardens get pinged when a permit is issued in their area.
So do you think that maybe you should set up a plan to try multiple times at random times to contact him and see if this is an ongoing problem, so it can be rectified?
So I mentioned my incident in this room, thinking that if someone else had had a similar incident, I'd hear about it, because we haven't received any
Well, I
complaints.
don't think you should just, if this is a serious safety concern for the town, I don't think you should just let it drop like that.
No, I'm not going to. I just did that. So that's why I'm mentioning it now, to see if I needed any further steps, which I will be calling again, but yeah.
Actively call randomly and see if.
I've
what
talked
the
to him in the
response is.
past.
You've talked to him in the past and he picked up his phone? Okay. But I'm gonna still call a couple of times.
I have called him in the past and haven't picked up his phone.
Good. But I'm still gonna make a couple more calls. Mine was a Saturday morning, which would a normal, somebody would be home on a Saturday, do a fire.
Another thing that the fire warden does is he can, go to somebody's place and check out their fire pit and approve it or not.
Yeah, yeah,
Has to be done to certain depths.
right, to be called an enclosed fire.
Minimum soil.
Yeah.
Mineral soil.
So, and maybe his voicemail could say, if you're interested in getting a fire pit, getting a fire permit,
He has he's a fireman. I mean, there were several fires last weekend.
yeah, Right,
But
but
this isn't the only thing he does.
right. No, I totally understand that. I just thought his voicemail could give me some direction. Yes,
So if there are a number of things the fire warden can do for people in the town, it might be helpful to put that on the
town website,
the town website, what the fire warden can do for you.
Eric, great idea.
Mm-hmm.
All right, treasurer's report, which we have right here, don't we?
Yeah, the expense report, the bank statements aren't in yet, so we'll have them at the next meeting.
No, it's too early, yeah. I know, I saw them right here.
So. Review that because any left, so the money's gonna roll into fund balance on June 30th.
Mm-hmm.
Such as office equipment.
Well, no, because the town reports were a little expensive, so that will offset a little.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to review it now, but. Pardon? I said you don't have to go all over it now, but. Soon.
Well, there's an awful lot of these accounts that are. That we want to be expended. I see you so confused. Look at what?
Someone called and asked what the balance was, so I circled it. Okay, you have my copy.
I have it from home. I have
That-
a copy that was.
What is that for, roads? What was the,
I circled the beach.
oh, beach, gotcha.
Yeah.
So should we place a call to the sand guy, the sand man? To make sure he's gonna get his sand here?
Go and take a look, see what it looks like.
Would you please, we know Vim would be right on that. If he was around.
And he mentioned it several times to us that we want to make sure he gets sand in. Of course, like our bulky pickup number is still out there because we have not spent it yet.
Oh, no, we will.
Mm-hmm.
We will.
Yes, but we will, right? I did see a few piles start to accumulate the last couple days, not big piles either, just some beside the road piles.
I believe today is the first day that they actually
Yeah.
legally put it out.
Yeah. Nothing outrageous, yes, which is good.
Can we talk about our bulky waste at some point? Because we are only allowed a truckload and the renovations is a little more than that.
And where is that bulky waste? Down in the garage?
Get some of the garage stuff.
That ain't too bad over there, though.
No, we thought them out of that. Staffing, but garage.
Well, we do have 3 buildings that it's in, so to me, that would mean 3 pickup truckloads.
So if a
That's what I
resident
thought.
has 3 buildings, a garage and a house and a shed, they can put out 3 loads.
That's what I thought.
If people have,
Buildings.
Well, you guys made the rule.
right, but I'm thinking multiple properties. I think of these, this is a different property, this is a different property, that is a different property.
And when we worked on it on the solid waste committee, we were talking about residents. We didn't even address the town.
The
So
town
the
stuff.
town doesn't have to abide by the rules that they made.
Well, what Susan suggested works.
I think that, as individual select board members, we're gonna put out our amount or less, depending on what we have to throw out, but that is in individual residents.
That's what we were addressing, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying the town doesn't have to be an example, but you've got the garage, you've got the town hall, and you've got the town office. That's not the same as people having buildings in their residence.
And it does represent everything, all of the town.
That's right.
It's not just yours or Steve's, it
Right.
has to do with our town buildings, which is all a part of our municipality.
We did not address that at all. We addressed residences. So put 3 files and 3 buildings.
Let's say 2 at least. We ain't got nothing around the basement.
Remember, it's an 8-foot bed we're talking, not a
Rounded,
6-foot.
right.
And it can be
Full
a solid
Not,
refrigerator.
not a little range of that. either.
Right.
Does it meet the construction standards of what we're allowed to put out?
About this all arching up top.
Well, I was thinking the same thing, because I have a call in to schedule a conversation with him to go through the pamphlet again.
There's really one top. That way people using the hall or not, they run, who would run over Dale or.
And it's demo.
Yeah, it's that demo.
Huh?
Not supposed to have demo.
Well, another possibility is just to look through our expense summary report and figure out where we could take the money to actually have a demo dumpster.
I think you should abide by the rules that you make.
So, Steve, how much do you think that we have? I mean, I didn't even realize we had demo, so it's the first time I've heard it.
2 truckloads.
2 truckloads?
I would say the stuff down the garage can wait another year, but
How about we
Bring up-
contact
bring up-
Archie's?
bring up the stuff from the basement's more important than the garage. I think.
But it's demo and he doesn't take demo.
Not
So
by your-
not by our rules, so I think that we need to contact him and ask him how best we can get rid of our demo. Not at bulky waste, can he come in with a different pickup?
Oh, there we go. We can,
Okay.
consider,
What's easiest for him? Does he want us to get a roll-off up here, or
It is
how best,
considered-
so? Because it's building demo, which we don't take during bulky waste, so let's,
But if it's 2 pickup loads, is that enough for a roll-off?
but I'm gonna ask Alan then. And see how he best wants to handle our building
So-
debris that's
so
not
this-
part
this
of bulky
particular
waste.
Decision will wait till, next meeting.
Yep, we,
That's.
that's what
the
get
pickup.
close. I'm just gonna call Alan tomorrow, okay?
Oh,
And tell him,
well,
I think we have 2 rounded pickup truckloads of debris from our renovation. How best can we handle that? How would he like to come and get that? Either way, we're gonna pay for it, because it's demo and
It's
it's,
all gonna be tipped, and that's the.
But
big
still,
difference.
if residents are told they can't put demo out.
and we
what
just
the
handled that.
truckload
We're gonna
is-
have him,
I
I know,
know,
we can, I know
Okay.
what we can do, take it to people's
Yeah.
houses that don't have nothing out.
it's still
Still demo.
demo.
Well,
And it's not just like a toilet, so
I was gonna volunteer.
Peggy,
So he generally will take demo, he's allowed to, his company is able to do that, correct?
correct. That's
Just to
because
talk
our
about
bulky
the
waste
policy,
isn't
You don't
done.
want everybody in town putting that kind of junk in the general waste, but the town's gonna pay for it, whether they pay for it by the pickup they have or having something separate. You should probably choose the most economical plan, because this is the budget for this, for
No,
the town.
Yeah, but you're still setting an example.
What?
You're setting an example. If we put out a huge pile and we tell everybody, nope, 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 we're not picking your stuff up, doesn't it look bad?
yes.
But
So,
it's
but
just
that's
like
okay.
saying it's a town expense.
I'm gonna,
You probably
we're
want
gonna
the
pay for it
most
one way or
economical.
another. And we'll find out from Alan. Hopefully I can talk with him tomorrow. If not, he can call me back on Monday and we will come up with a plan to remove the demo, how best it works for him, preferably before June 20th. How's that?
That's good.
You guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Plan?
Go for it.
Okay. Cool beans. Thank you for bringing that to our attention because it's demo and I haven't seen it. I just assumed out of sight, out of mind. I didn't even know that we had any.
I'm not sure exactly what we do, but I'm
We're ready to hear it.
Okay, treasurer's report.
We're done.
We're done?
That's
No,
it.
no outstanding, anything that, like, checks are being cashed by our area towns and nothing that's
Don't have
odd or
my
weird or,
reconciliations on the next
Yeah.
meeting, because I don't have that statement yet.
gotcha. But we're pretty well up to date from our previous statement on towns. A year ago, Sumner had a lot of checks that weren't cashed. I just want to stay on top of that. That's why I was
Yeah,
asking.
I should get the statements any day now.
Great. Okay. Cemetery committee report.
Cemetery committee doesn't have anything to.
Okay. And solid waste did not have a meeting, correct? Yeah,
No, actually, the solid waste committee has voted to use the last Wednesday, fourth Wednesday of the month for our meetings, so that will be June 26th, and we did that on purpose because I at least am gonna drive around and see how it looks on bulky waste pickup.
yeah,
I always do that anyway. So we'll have, that's what we're gonna talk about, but we're gonna do that, I scheduled it with Leanne the other day. For the rest of the year, fourth Wednesday, 6:30.
6:30. All right, thank you. Calendar reminders, election is June 11th. Here at Town Hall from 8 to 8. Waste committee meeting,
26.
right, is June 26th at 6:30, not 7. Annual town meeting is June 15th, 9 a.m. Town office is closed on June 19th for Juneteenth, national holiday.
So get your stickers for tires and Freon. Like on Monday of that week. By Monday.
Okay. Bulky waste collection is on June 20th. I do want to mention, just because we just talked about, you just mentioned stickers. Last year, somebody bought a sticker for a refrigerator, then someone took the refrigerator before bulky waste came and they wanted a refund, which we would not give. So basically, for those but at least you all and anybody at home, if you go ahead and put your stickers on your stuff or buy it too early, and someone decides that they'd like to relocate your whatever, your washing machine or tire somewhere else, or your stickers, I wouldn't be putting your sticker on your stuff until closer to the date. But it is good. We've had so much less junk beside the road at this point, so things are working better. All right, unfinished business. And there's nothing unfinished. Psych. All right, open session. Yes, Al.
She's first. She was quick.
Yes, Lenny.
Oh, I would just like to say that nothing went great. We
Super.
had so much stuff, we filled the hall a couple of times, and everything's
Probably 3 times, everything coming in. and
yes,
everything.
everything going out, and what we had left either went to the Hartford Heritage Yard Sale or a thrift store, or bulky waste was a very small pile. And
Awesome.
so a lot of stuff came in and went out, and hopefully
Perfect.
that helps with the waste stream, but we really appreciate being able to have it.
Does anyone know when the Irish Museum sale is?
Not 29th. What? June 29th.
June 29th.
Where?
Where? At the
That's
museum.
me.
Oh, they're not doing it here?
No.
They need insurance.
Nobody wants to stop anymore.
They're doing it at the museum, everything's stored at the museum.
It's all stored there, so it makes it quite handy.
Yep. Cool beans. Al?
The people who signed up for boards, how do they know that they're on the boards? Are you gonna let them know, or is there some kind of procedure? I mean, there's a lot of people that sign up for boards, like, go ahead,
I send letters,
send letters out.
emails or letters.
Yeah, I'm not getting the emails, I haven't gotten for a long time.
Did I miss you? What were you appointed to?
No committee? I don't think you missed me, I just don't get emails from the town.
Okay.
I mean, you can say I'm on it or not, that will help me right now.
Every month,
I don't know.
we haven't gone through the most recent, what do you want to call it? The most recent applications or people that are interested. So if you filled it out in the last 3 weeks, we'll be reviewing it tonight.
Probably 2 weeks.
Okay.
But I don't know if you have my email address, right?
Is that for the road committee?
Yeah.
Did you put it on your sheet?
I don't think so. I think you've been trying to send me something. You said you had it for, I mean, I've been on all the boards for a while.
I'll send you a letter.
Okay,
Ken's got.
Ken,
We put sand out the bid quite a few months ago, and at the time when the bids came in, it was decided to not accept either one.
That's correct.
When are you planning on being out the sand? Again, if you're not accepting the 2 that came in.
You should be doing it anytime.
probably sooner than later, since price will go up versus down.
Did you vote on that tonight? Vote it out?
No, on the agenda, but
No, it is open
Put
session.
it on the agenda for the next
Next
meeting.
time.
Okay,
Why not get it out now? Why do we need to wait? We can't vote on something without,
It's not in the
It's not
agenda.
on the agenda.
you could vote to put it on the agenda.
yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Just did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just voted to put it on the next agenda. We can't. We'll put it on the next agenda in 2 weeks and vote on it then.
Prices are gonna get cheaper.
No. Next.
Plus, BIM has been working with, can't remember his name, up to Canton. About getting Carolyn Bradbury, yeah, BIM's been working with him also, so too. So,
You can put it in.
yeah, we can.
Okay. All right, new business, tax abatement R13, lot 6B.
We should have a copy.
I believe this is a copy right here.
That's the original.
I'll write all of it for you.
Just sign your name.
So that was an abatement we just signed for a property that was reassessed because it was assessed at an improper category. So it changes
Yeah,
from
let's pass that back, please.
residential to
We do need a motion if you want to. Hang on to it for a
I
second.
move we accept this abatement.
I second that.
as
R13 6B in the amount of.
Trio 1269. All in favor? Okay. Bulky waste rules policy. We determined we had to have a rules and policies, so we had some meat to our plan.
When you mentioned the no refund policy, that's probably something you should add to it.
Yep. Agreed.
My demo?
I pretty much took.
So we can, and we can put it right, we can put it right here where it says disposal fees must be paid at the town office for items containing Freon and tires. Stickers will be issued to place on these items for curbside pickup. No refunds after purchase.
I'll go change it.
Yes, those two, Jen's demo will not be accepted at the website if they come. That's fine. It must be ready.
Whereas I should probably take out the word new because they're not new charging, so. Haven't changed.
And raise hand or just.
It is. But she's reading, I'm patient.
See? You have a raised hand.
Hello, Jay, you're next.
Have a question. Metal that's left on the side of the street for pickup is profit for the town.
Right, it's a process as a credit.
Is that part of the load size, or should it be separated into a for profit pile and a metal pile?
I'm saying.
Leanne,
There's hardly any metal left over on the by the 20th.
It took my jack.
It'll be gone.
People come
Don't
pick it
get
up.
next year to-
Why doesn't the town put something that, you know, if people wanna donate their metal to the town, why don't we have like some type of a dumpster that people can donate?
Encourage them to put their metal out at the last
And
day.
let them know that it's gonna go to the town.
Leanne?
We still have to pay for the trucking, manpower, I don't know. How much, you know, it offsets the gym.
Yeah.
Oh, either way, you gotta pay for it, like.
They've had some figures on it,
It's
it
on-
wasn't a lot,
It was under $500.
right?
Well, it's under $500, and the other thing is that the people who are picking up this metal are not our most wealthy citizens,
Or even our citizens.
or possibly even our residents. This is also true.
Okay. Oh. You want.
If it has an engine attached, would you put it under a tarp so Rusty doesn't see it? Yes.
You would have to define them. Because it's not, they don't want all of that. You know what I'm saying, if you were suggesting separating it out and having it.
Right,
It's
No,
not all,
white goods.
not all metal is equal.
right.
Right, white goods is worth quite a bit less.
Right.
But they do come in a separate truck to pick up the metal.
Yes.
But they don't take anything, they take refrigerators, they'll be gone.
I know Lou Brand took care of our metal we had left over here from that sale last weekend. And then he went up to see Clarence, he's gonna pick some up at Clarence too, so that'll be good.
Clarence isn't number enough to get it out to the side of the road.
That's what he told him that, and he made a deal with Lou really wanted the metal, was more money in that. But Clarence, he shrugged it off a little bit. So then he made a deal
Pretty
with
much just
Lou, you pick up this
copy the
garbage
flyer.
over here, then I'll let you have a load of metal to offset your. So that's kind of a deal. he made.
There you go.
So the universal waste like computers and stuff like that. And fluorescent stuff. I mean, they can just set that out there and they're still gonna take it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is to be hoped that people will be careful with their fluorescent
Right.
pictures, because if those things break, they are.
Awful to pick up
well,
and
often
they've got
pick up and-
dangerous
and
stuff in them.
hazardous.
Yeah.
The reason universal waste is classified as universal waste is because of its toxic and hazardous nature.
Yep.
So any other changes besides no refunds and get rid of that new charges for tires?
Yeah. I don't see any other changes in that. You know, Lee?
I mean, somebody asked the other day, what about skid tires? We don't know. And we don't really have a category for that. Should we say no skid tires?
I know they're only allowed 8
I don't
tires
even know if
and
they can even lift
Yeah,
them.
but if they were 8 skid tires, then that would be.
we don't have a price for skidder tires, do we?
No tires over 20 inch, what's that odd, what's a really uncommon size?
That would be like a big truck tire.
Yeah, but what's 20 inch, is that a vehicle?
It
Yeah,
does,
truck.
so it does say
Pickup truck.
no tires larger than 20 inches, so skidder tires are not accepted. Unless they're under
No,
20
we can
inches.
add that. I said.
Or a dump truck tire.
I think that's,
That's what I guess I'm suggesting, that skidder tires or commercial truck tires are ones that we really don't want in bulky waste, among other things. These guys would be very hard pressed to lift something like that.
No equipment tires? How do you wanna say it?
I
Just tires over 27.
I just put like no larger tires are accepted. Yeah. Yeah, I just, after you put nothing larger than 20-inch, and the fee for tires larger than 20 inches is $12. We need to put something in that just says,
You know, well, there you go. And
gotta
so
take out
someone
that larger
got a tire
than
that's-
20.
that's
Right,
larger
'cause-
than 20 inches, you know, $12 is.
Tires-
Take out larger than 20-inch.
but it just says the fee for tires larger than 20 inches is $12.
I've already given the flyer out to a bunch of people. This is just the policy.
Right,
It's
well-
the same as the flyer.
Right.
oh, there you go.
So should we change it?
I think it needs to say, no commercial tires are accepted. This is a residential bulky waste pickup. So I think we're safe just saying no commercial tires will be accepted. And then we can be more specific in next year's.
If you say commercial tires, then there's always the quibbling about, yeah, but this one's from a tractor, it's not commercial, it's agricultural.
I think you're safer to stay with the size.
Nothing just.
Yeah,
Nothing over 20.
you know, and sure enough, if it's not in the flyer, it's not in the flyer, but you know, it has taken us a while to get.
Just state nothing.
Takes
over
quite a
20.
while to make changes in the solid waste program. And I think there's no time like the present to.
Well, you say 20 inches, that's the rim, right?
Yes, that's.
Yeah.
So any other changes? I'll have you vote on it, then I'll go.
Can we underline only 8 tires allowed per household? Because there's a lot of verbiage in there and I just. You can make those exploding tire gardens out of them, you know?
Exactly.
Or how many mobile homes need them on the
slope
roof?
in my garden.
Dave, do you have any use in your building?
Why underline it, so. Why you underline
Just
it?
because I think there's a lot of,
Tomatoes and tires.
there's a lot of, verbiage here and I just wanted people to understand that they can only put 8 on.
I'm gonna build my, extra dwelling with tires.
I saw a new house on this back road that leads into Bethel from New Hampshire. And the guy built his whole retaining wall that his house is up on, all tires. It's like, wow.
Gee, yeah.
All right, propane tanks. How do you puncture a propane tank? Do you just put a hole in it or is it explosive?
Yeah, I think shooting is usually the way, but I think removing the valve also works.
That might be a better way to word it, is to remove valve.
So it says empty propane tanks will be picked up during the bulky household waste pickup at no cost if they have been punctured.
That's where Archie's.
That's his language.
What do you do with your non-punctured tanks?
Bring it to the,
Well, you. either
Big
keep
Apple?
them till-
bring it to the Big Apple and say, I just want to exchange
Somebody
this.
must make a function? Put them out in your backyard for.
You know, I mean, she just said, bring them to Big Apple and exchange.
Trade them for the next one, for the better looking one.
You're talking
No,
about
because
100 pounds.
I was told I couldn't, refill one when I would refill it, so I don't think that's possible.
Well, so you go to one of those places where they just take your own tank.
The
and you
exchange
put
tank,
it
old
in.
tank, they'll take an outdated tanks, then they refurb it. There's been a
Is it
huge shortage.
Rhinos,
Yep,
Service Road?
Amerigas and Fabian's got
Right.
swap off too.
That can happen.
Getting too complicated.
Well, there
Sorry.
you go.
All right. I'm happy with it, with those changes and you want to go make them, don't you, so we can sign it?
Yeah, do you wanna make a motion? And I'll go change it that way.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the collection rules and regulations policy with the changes we've just added. And I need a second.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Do. Okay,
I'll be back before fee schedule.
yeah. Okay, no spray ordinance, Al Brazzelli.
Well, here we go again, so I'm gonna ask about this because Lee, 15 years ago, Jason Grant walked into the select board office and said his bees were killed by a spray that was going around the whole town. So we had the DOT here and we had CMP here. So CMP said we don't spray, the DOT said we don't spray,
Not harmful.
right? Well, they said we didn't spray. So the only thing that really got me messed up in the head, the DOT wouldn't be spraying on Carrot Hill. They wouldn't be spraying by Jason's, okay? So the only person that would have did that is either the town, hired somebody to do it back then, and I can't go back into the records. I've been up at pesticide board numerous times. Pesticide board's got a hold of CMP and the DOT. I don't understand, everybody in the town, over 153 people signed this petition. We had a town meeting and voted on it to have a no spray. It just came up again at the board, and Jeremy Johnson was one of them that shut it down. Jeremy Johnson had bought at least 75 quarts of honey from. So I don't have any idea where these people are, where their heads are.
So I was in those ordinance meetings when Bonnie had done the research and came back and the gentleman came from the state.
I was there too. I was there 3 times.
So just over this past year?
Yeah.
Yeah, and, we were being told by these folks that there's not any spraying going on. Unless someone hires them individually, like somebody,
Right, so they won't even, they're afraid to even come into town because of all the stuff I do up in Augusta. But you have to have it in writing. I mean, we already have the town already voted on it. So you have to have something come up in an ordinance to make this totally legal. And everybody, every time I go knock on doors and I tell people, look, they can still spray around here. They're like, are you kidding me? This has been going on for 15 years.
It's not a job for ordinance.
Yeah, I mean, the
so
ordinance,
ordinance committee, I thought, beat the heck out of this.
they,
I sat there and we were being told that nobody's,
Bonnie wrote something for it and it got turned down at the ordinance meeting.
no, I was there. She didn't write anything for it.
No, just a month or 2 ago, when she was still around here.
Yeah,
Yeah, she did. She brought it up to Jeremy Johnson and Bim and those guys, and they turned it down. Call her and ask her. I'm just telling you, 15 years, and people will sign it again today. But something has to be done, please. I mean, I don't want it to be back here next year.
I understand. I understand.
Whatever has.
I know that she had all these people saying that nobody was spraying and haven't sprayed here for over 10 years.
Right, but you still have to have it written, because they actually said that they would come, if we don't want them to spray, they would use a paintbrush. You hear that? Like on the knotweed next to the road. They would use a paintbrush. They had Ben was here and Dennis was here when they came. I've been to all these meetings. I've been up to Augusta like 5 times.
Yeah.
Augusta's been.
Yeah, I knew you did a lot of legwork.
And I just know that we need to have something as soon as possible.
Lenny?
Oh, I was on the ordinance committee when this first came up.
Yeah,
And we-
me too.
We put, yeah, you were.
Yeah.
And we put Alice forward.
Yeah.
And it fell apart because we hadn't run it by
CMP and DOT.
some.
The board of
But
pesticides.
there was an alternative offered at town meeting. And I don't know what happened to that.
Fell apart.
You do know, well, what happened?
Sure.
Yeah, oh, Lee, sorry, I thought you were already going.
That year, when it came to town meeting, there were three articles for the same topic.
Right.
There was, the original, wording, which was no spraying all the town of Hartford or something like, it was just, a quick sentence, the no spraying Hartford. And then there was an alternative, wording that was a little bit closer to what another town had used. It had a little bit more language in it so that it would have standing with the state. And we chose, was it Montville? I can't remember which town it was. It was some town like that, that had no spray ordinance since 1980 something.
Yeah, that's Montville.
It was Montville, there you go. And so we had choice A, which was the original wording, choice B, which was the wording that the town of Montville used, or choice B, which was, not to have spray ordinance. And it did pass at town meeting. It was choice B, passed at town meeting. This is when Becky was our town clerk, and unfortunately, we had an obligation to have notified the Board of Pesticides Control both in advance of this vote and afterwards, and it didn't happen.
And then it died?
Well, then the state basically said, no, actually, no, we can't,
Yeah, they
it's
did.
not valid.
That's
It was
not true.
invalidated.
That's not true, because they did come down like 3 times to talk to us.
No, you should back then.
Right, no, I mean, after that, after we did it,
They came and talked to
and
us.
they came to talk to us and
Talk to who?
we had.
Ordinance committee, and they had a
We
meeting,
had a meeting,
that big meeting here.
right.
No, there was actually a relatively small meeting with the select board at the time. And I'm sure you remember this because you were on the board, and we met with folks from the state. I think that, in any case, that's more or less what happened, is they said, actually, no, you can't do this.
So it's not on this year's warrant?
Oh, it doesn't have to be. The state or the
It's
state.
gone back to the
state
ordinance
said, the
committee.
last meeting we had, the state said.
Hold on, I got on here one person.
So let me please speak, please. The state said, we will do anything you want us to do. They're not saying you cannot do it. They're saying you will do anything you want us to do. You don't want us to spray, we won't spray. You want us to use a paintbrush, we'll use a paintbrush. You want us to use Indian tanks, we'll use Indian tanks.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, so it's not that you can't do it, because they already said you can do it. It's, let them know how you do it. And if they do anything, they're supposed to call you prior to doing it.
Sounds like the ordinance committee and the select board need to be together.
But didn't they tell us that we have to keep the
Yeah, the sides
brush,
of
the sides of the road?
only around corners and stuff like that, if you have a corner that is invisible or whatever. It wasn't anything major.
There were 12 miles of, I believe it's 12 miles of state road that we would have to keep. We would have to brush mow the same way we do with our own roads.
Lee. The state is not spraying anymore. Don't you get it? The only time they'll come down here to spray is if somebody from the town calls them. So you don't have to mow anything.
Actually, we had to enter into a legally binding agreement to use the same mower we use at the side of the road. We had to enter into a legally binding agreement with them that we would do this, and we didn't have to do it every year, it was every other year. But we had to enter into it, we had to sign an agreement that we would do this.
How many times have this happened in 15 years?
What's that?
Either mower or seed. They're afraid to come down here and spray. Because as soon as they go across the ditch anywhere, there's people gonna be taking pictures of it. So, you're agreement or not agreement?
I haven't seen him spray for years.
And
Right, well,
the other thing is that the real miscreants in terms of spraying is not, in fact, the DOT so much as it is Lucas Tree, who are the people hired by CNP to go around, and they spray underneath power lines all over the place. They've sprayed on my road. They spray underneath the power lines because they don't want to have to
Has that
go.
been recently?
Yes, a couple of years ago, a couple of years ago.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure Bonnie made that call, and it'd been a while.
Right.
I'm not saying it was a while.
That's what I'm saying, is you need to have, people think, the people in the town believe we have no spray. So you have to.
So we will have the ordinance committee in our July meeting.
Something else.
We will have them draw something up.
I don't know what Bonnie already written up. If you call her, you will find out.
We'll do
It
that.
has to be passed.
Well, you know,
I don't wanna come back again next year. If I do, you might have 200 kids in buses here from Mountain Valley.
Oh, my God. Seeing the
Or you
process.
might have the newspaper reporter Hutchins from, Rumford Times. In the Sun Journal.
Okay, so, we will do a little legwork and, go from there
Thank
and
you.
get that set up for July.
Enjoy your evening.
See ya, Al.
Yeah.
Okay, next on the agenda is a junkyard complaint.
Which one?
This one from Brenda, hard for my store.
We'll look at that.
On gate, other permitted junkyard.
I guess we'll have to go up and look at him again.
Yep, because last thing I knew, he only had one vehicle up there that still had to be moved, he was waiting on a part. And it was really super wet, which of course it's been super wet a long time, but
Someone said that he has vehicles on the town-owned land by the bridge. On Town Farm Road,
Before you get to the bridge?
the town-owned land, it's on the maps. We purchased it from Bob Russell. He said there's cars on that land. Can't remember who told me that.
I think I know he's got something down before you get to the bridge. It's between the bridge and the stop sign on the left. I think that's his.
because I know that the mobile home that's on the left-hand side, that code enforcement's already talked to him about.
That one piece of equipment on the
No,
left.
a mobile home.
Oh, yeah, I know, a mobile home, but.
I guess it means we will do a little research and talk to, and we don't have his report, or do we have his report? Do we have a junkyard report for the month?
We received one at the last meeting or the
Yeah,
meeting
that's
before?
right. Yeah, we did get that one. So he is up to date on that, which is good. So, Kathy, do you want to talk to him?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Next one, we have a complaint about the schoolhouse window. So it has a broken window on the schoolhouse on Church Street. Oh, bummer.
Thank you.
Yes,
Are you over there, clean it up and, cut the glass and everything to replace it? I just found out about it today.
yeah,
But
me too.
we put a, what tax on the property, because, I have no idea what's going on. This is the second time I replaced window locks, the last two summer.
Okay,
And window glass doesn't break itself.
What's that?
Window glass does not break itself.
It's not, either it's done or how it's done.
Or something.
so you're gonna get the glass over and fix it and a no trespassing sign. Great.
You know, do something. Some people to, when I was up on the ladder today, we moved the old glass, looked in and somebody took a part of it from the inside, you can see there's a room in the schoolhouse, that built the schoolhouse. And they jarred it behind the one entry door. So if somebody comes in, they can't get in. So if they get cut in somehow, they go booby trap for the next person that comes in, for the team, so. But they gotta spend a little time to find out how to get in, but. We'll cut that in time to start, then we can cross.
Because then we can enforce it. Gotcha. Peggy,
Is there any kind of plan to surveil that on a regular basis, to see the condition of it, because it's not being used currently, am I correct?
I'm always to care of it. I'm more the one to care of it. We just there with side.
And then you were there again today.
Yeah. Leanne?
This is just reminding me, I went to a tax lien workshop and we have, I think it's 60 days to put insurance on a tax acquired property. And we don't have anything on that Church Street one, so we might want to think about that.
The Church Street.
Put insurance on the schoolhouse.
On Blanchard. Oh,
I'd say we should do that.
absolutely. Yeah, am I correct?
Historical register, right? They said that.
No, we're not talking about the schoolhouse anymore.
Oh, okay.
Talking about a tax acquired property that is on Church Street and, Leanne, am I correct that we could, because it now belongs to the town, we can use waste management?
Right.
Well. Then you better sign us up.
And is the schoolhouse covered under insurance?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. But we don't have to use it. All right, thank you, Steve, for getting that done. Thank you, Ken, for finding it. All right. Fee schedule hearing.
So we need to set a hearing date to review the fee schedule. I kind of jumped the gun with the swim lessons because Dana made up a flyer and I put it out there, but the fees haven't been approved yet.
Okay. So do we we have to have a hearing though, correct? So let's get that scheduled. Do we want to do it? We have reviews already for the next meeting. Do you want to do it?
Be approved before, it has to be approved at the 20th meeting because they go into effect July 1st.
Okay,
Wow.
wow, well, wow. How long a hearing, like a half hour, an hour?
It doesn't take long.
Okay, so. And we
But
have to-
after town meeting,
Um,
I've certainly seen the select board of Sumner meet as a select board after town meeting. That said, I was actually kind of thinking I was gonna go to the historical, event for the, Canton Historical Society, and this event for, event, but that's not until, yeah, so, seems like, since we usually put right through town meeting, we could do that.
I just think town meeting's already long enough. We go through all the articles that we might.
Well, true enough, actually, town meeting's been pretty short the last few years, but, we'll have people here and that might not be a bad time for you. I don't know.
when do they meet?
What's that?
ATV. Can't remember what time we meet. They do it before that. 6:30,
6:35.
Monday, the 17th. No, there's a meeting at 6:30, but we could do it before.
You could do it from 6 to 6:30 and do a hearing. Would that be too much of a hardship? Who's here from ATV?
Right? I'll be gone.
You're not allowed to be gone.
Yeah, I'm going. 4 days,
Wow.
16th to 20th. Yeah,
16, you're missing town meeting?
no, it's the 15th.
Oh, gotcha. So does anyone have a problem doing it the 17th without Kathy from 6 to 6:30? Doing a
What's
quick
going
hearing?
on? What's going on? No, also is a meeting.
ATV's at 6:30. I don't think we need a long hearing time.
No, I think it's probably a little bit like the GA hearings. For the most part, except of course,
Just read down.
we
through
do
it.
have, I don't actually have a copy of this. but,
It's in your packet.
You know,
Just read down through them.
Look
check
through
them.
my packet, I
Yeah.
told you a few times there, and you have not.
It'll take 10 minutes.
You know, we're gonna, because we have people who are putting their stuff about fees and wanting to be. So I think that expecting that it's going to go quickly might lead, might lead to error.
Okay, well. What does the studio audience think?
I think before the interview, see.
Peggy?
Can you tell me why you're having this hearing?
Every year, we have to approve the fee schedule for like return checks, how much a tire costs, what the
It's not just.
swim lessons are.
No,
Okay.
If you want a map or a notary, what's the fee is, plumbing,
Copies,
That's
facts.
fine,
Copies.
I was just thinking it was all in for something.
shoreline zoning application fees, all that.
Solid waste.
In a
barrier.
way, since if you ask what does the gallery think, or can't remember the word you used, in a way. it makes sense.
Studio audience.
Studio audience.
In a way, it makes sense to do it after town meeting because there will be people.
Also, I think some of the stuff that the planning board does has fee schedules in it. And I think we should transfer them to your fee schedule so that all of them can be done at once.
I think we have quite a few of them on here already. Shoreline zoning ordinance, permit,
From our ordinance.
there's a whole bunch from here that are yours.
Building permits.
Subdivision application fee, they're all on here.
Shoreline permit, application, shoreline zoning ordinance. For the copy.
This is what I find out when I'm getting. The select board.
Here, check it out.
Just happy to have you here.
There's nothing else to do, right? Peggy?
Dave, what do you think? You've done some select board meetings before?
Just need 7 days to know. Well,
Make sure this.
need a little bit more than 7 days because I have to put it in the newspaper.
Okay,
I mean, I went to the Upper Town meeting, not that I wanted to go any longer, but. You know, we've been out of there by noon. That's 3 hours. We had select board meetings plenty longer than that.
What do we use for a time? Just advertise it directly after town meeting, no time.
Yeah.
After town meeting, if
Mhm.
anybody wants to, you know, it might make people stick around for the whole town meeting.
approximately 45 minutes or whatever. It's a hearing. We're not gonna vote. Do we vote on it that day too?
No, you're gonna approve it on the 20th. Or not approve it.
But we have to have a hearing no matter what,
Yep,
before we can vote on it.
okay.
Can you make a motion?
I would like to make a motion that we conduct a hearing for the fee schedule immediately following the town meeting to last approximately 45 minutes. All in favor? Cool beans.
You want the rogues gallery to go.
Yes, could the studio audience,
Maybe we should clap.
do you remember those Muppets in the back?
But our acoustics back here. they're not
Back there, right?
Why? I'm like,
You have your device too, in that house.
Okay, Oxford County Budget Commitment, 24-25.
This needs to be signed, but I need a motion.
I move we sign the commitment for Oxford County.
I second that one. All in favor? The total is $162,017. There you go, noodles.
Oh,
Ouch,
So social security increasing and Medicare takes it.
takes it with Medicare
Funny how that. works.
B or whatever they hit you with. Okay, town meeting preparations.
First, can you please, appointments will be at the next meeting, 20th, for the new year. Can
Okay,
you please talk to people, make sure they're willing to serve again?
oh, okay. I do have an update on that if you want to discuss it now or at the next meeting.
You're the chairman.
I spoke with our attorney, Dan, and discussed the nomination of Jeremy Johnson. And unfortunately, he felt that there was a large conflict of interest, that he would not be an appropriate candidate based on what the committee does for road committee. And I told them that he already serves on the ordinance committee, and he said, as long as these people that are on it, like the ordinance committee, if it's something comes up that's specifically based on something they could be getting paid for, and they're making that decision, they recuse themselves. But road committee making road decisions and getting road bids, it is a huge conflict of interest.
Yeah, I talked to him the other day, and he didn't really care
So,
one way or the other.
well, our attorney definitely cared.
Are you talking about, an attorney in the municipal association?
No, our attorney,
Or,
Dan, our attorney.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean, it was worried about,
Yeah,
you know, as a glare in the car.
all right.
So,
Oops.
town meeting, are you guys all set? I mean, you don't need to prepare for anything? You're gonna be ready to answer questions?
Well, we'll be reviewing budget stuff, and Terry's did, yep, Terry's got her stuff. So, what about, are we doing anything, to present Spirit of America and all that jazz?
We have a certificate in a frame.
So we'll need to sign those.
It's all signed, it's ready. I don't know if we're doing anything else. Do those at the beginning of the meeting.
I think that'd be great. Say something nice.
I have the CEO attend the planning board, but he doesn't vote. Maybe you could have the road commissioner be a part of the road committee, but be a non-voting member.
The road commissioner is a part of the road committee as a
Non-voting member for an advisory position.
You're thinking of Jeremy, he was,
Well,
Jeremy's not the road.
oh,
Jeremy's,
I thought that's what you were discussing.
no, he bids us.
Oh, I see. So they have to recuse themselves, themselves.
And since all the business is about him being a subcontractor and receiving many dollars from our roads budget, our attorney felt it was a
Yeah, that's
a
really.
big conflict. He'd be recusing himself for every meeting.
That's what MMA was,
Yeah. You can't have that going on.
No, so,
not really about recommending.
But to Peggy's point, I'd like to actually call, I'm on the road committee myself, and I would like to actually call a conference in some of our meetings, just to ask him, you know, what best practices suits, you know, what you guys have been doing. You know, without him actually being at a meeting and discussing all our little things, so, you know, it's just kind of like a.
Person to person,
yeah,
Public anyway, so he could go.
We don't want to throw out knowledge, we don't want to throw away knowledge.
no, of course not,
No.
absolutely not.
If we got
All right,
2 or 3 women on there now, I think, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, plus you gotta do that road inventory.
so, town meeting preparation. Who sets up the hall? Do you want us to help with that? Including me voting. Do you want help setting up the,
After 25 years, I think I'm gonna.
doing good? Okay, all right.
Susan, I did one, I forgot something at open session.
Okay,
It has to do with Steve, we had a turtle lay eggs out here.
they usually lay eggs out here
Yeah, well,
too.
they did it right, she did it right out here last night, I actually have a picture of it, so you can see where.
Privacy at all,
I-
honey.
Well,
God's sake.
we were thinking that we should protect it, but I'm not just gonna assume I can go put stakes in and, you know, protect the eggs.
You're not gonna protect them. There's an animal that eats them all. Soon as they're leaving.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I was worried about.
That's probably why they went over here thinking it might be safer. There was a ton of eggs out here last year.
Yeah, they landed in my lawn. Ooh.
It was a good idea. If we could just come up with a way to get the animal that's eating them.
Oh, okay, it was a thought.
What would be your suggestions for town meeting preparation?
Well, I'll pick up water. It's gonna be a long day if we have that hearing.
Yes,
I don't know what's gonna happen at the election,
I
but the
picked up
current
coffee
board will
donuts once, Neil had fit.
sit up here for the meeting.
yeah,
And then at some point in the meeting, probably towards the end, oaths will be taken
So.
for all elected officials.
we're gonna need the whiteboard too to
So you have one.
count votes or,
One woman.
Yeah,
which is already up
we'll need
there.
a couple of ballot clerks just in case.
Catherine,
Catherine's left out.
Nice.
okay.
So we definitely need 3 people in the.
But just let me know if you want, if you think of something I should prepare.
Okay, let me think about that. You guys will think about that.
And you're gonna contact people to make sure they want to serve for the next meeting.
We want to divide the list up.
So road
Yes.
committee, we need 1, 2, 3, we need 2 more people.
For what?
Well, not just that, the
Road committee.
reappointments.
Yeah,
of
and there's
all-
people that have signed up.
Catherine Blake no longer lives in town.
Kate?
She's.
Then you will
she's
have
Listed
to-
on the road committee.
You will have to vote to,
Right. Yes.
I think we've got some people with road experience that,
They left some time ago, so I don't think we're gonna get a actual. Resignation.
Well, we do have a policy in ordinance, so pretty much we're giving these unexperienced, they have effective date is on.
right, but if they don't live here, they have been meeting.
But I mean, you're not gonna get a resignation letter, but by policy, you don't really need one.
Well, we'll start with one already, Rusty. He expires this year.
As he expires this year, I'm pretty sure he wants to stay on
we're
the,
gonna do that at the next meeting.
yeah, okay. But we'll contact people. Let's work with dead people. Okay,
I personally feel that you should hold off on all appointments till the next meeting, because I sent those forms out in the town reports. We may
Yep,
get some.
I get some more folks in there, yep. Give them a chance. All right, is there any training or anything coming up that we need to attend? Leanne sent us a wonderful training link and I'd like everyone to take it. It's a human resource one. Help us manage our folks,
That's gonna expire. I think it expires after 30 days.
so we need to do it, do
I
it.
did take a training, a lean workshop. You know, we've been holding on to the Blanchard property until we change our ordinance and our warrant article. Well, the law has changed again, effective in August.
So the laws changed again so that our ordinance amendment is no longer going to be valid?
Nope,
It's not.
nope. So we're gonna have to either have a special town meeting in order to sell that property or wait till next year or.
We're not gonna wait another whole year.
You have a special town meeting,
You can, you have to have a hearing for the ordinance changes
right? Yeah, yeah.
and a warrant.
So we waited all this time to sell this property and now we can't?
Just change the law and it's effective. in
Well, can we?
You have to send them a letter.
Right.
give him
Office
90
Reason can say, we can just put it up to bid right now.
You can't put it out to
But-
bid. He wants a realtor.
Oh, he wants to.
Or first you have to send a letter, give him 90 days.
But then the law hasn't changed.
Can't we send it right now? So at
No,
least it's
because we
closer.
haven't changed our ordinance in our-
Oh my friggin' word.
I'm telling
It's
you.
like, they're not gonna let us take property that we need it.
You just don't trust the legislature.
I have to look it up and you see that people, they got rid of some years ago. Yeah, it's still, it's just, it makes some changes. I haven't read out, but they didn't tell the information.
We waited all this time because of the changes we thought were already gonna happen.
So, we know that Catherine Blake is left town, and somebody else lives in the place. We're gonna just wait until, not show up with you.
No, I think he doesn't live here anymore, because he doesn't qualify to be here.
Well, I'd like to accept the resignation. Because of, because of who?
Yeah. I second
And I
that.
was told this by Jennifer again, who is my friend. Her name, or.
Yeah.
In
If
your
you want to
closet.
stay, I talked to her. and really-
That's what Jenny said.
You're positive.
Pretty positive, I'm happy with Jenny, but on the other hand, if you want to wait on that, we can wait. A little more research.
I didn't see them.
No, I think they, I tell you what, let's just.
Let's
hold off on
confirm,
that,
and we
and I
can
will see what I can find out.
we accept the resignation of the next one, if we know she's really moved.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, is that all we have for correspondence?
I keep wanting to buy a bench for the beach, but they're really expensive, that's it.
By what?
Buy a bench for the beach. We're gonna have to like come up with a way to,
We need to.
Cement it.
It needs to be a concrete bench or table.
Let Steve look at that, see, they're expensive, but
Can, we see about getting a 16-foot step ladder to have just for the town hall, so I can reach the lights.
didn't we?
We have
What did we
a
borrow?
ladder, a real long
Oh.
ladder, but
We had a really tall step ladder, and I know because it had been outside the building at Fair Share when we were renovating it, and I took it home because it was kind of an orphan, so I took it home and I left it in the garage so we could change the lights. I don't know if it's still there, it was a step ladder. And.
In this
it's
garage
all
back then,
16
Kathy?
feet, if not longer. Yeah, it's a wooden step ladder.
it wouldn't
Have you,
hold my weight, I would 300 pounds.
have you guys seen a little brown table that was set up there by the,
It's in the office.
it's in the office?
Yes, see, I told you, ask Leanne.
Do you want to check and see?
You get it's right enough to hold me.
I think you need to check out, and if not, we need to get you.
Yeah, we should have one.
Steve, you be the judge.
Okay.
But like I say, I did nab it when it was going for free because it seemed like a great thing, but I had no other use for it than to use it for the house.
There
I didn't know.
there's money in there,
Great, I didn't know where they're
So,
at. I just think. I
which
wanted-
means you'd have to buy it right away,
Right, I want to change these for the big meeting,
right?
but I mean, I don't want to, I want to be safe doing that.
Right. It'd be great if we could actually get it brighter. Excellent.
Maintenance, town hall maintenance, we have $3,500.
Great. There you go.
Okay.
So
So can we get some of this
Spend it.
stuff for the beach
spend it,
with that money?
that's for the beach.
Yeah, can we get some of these?
We could, if they approve it.
Because right now we have wooden stuff that their kids carve into. and-
Oh, I know. And then they push them in the pond. And
We have that armament still up there too.
Check Casey
Do
showed
we
up.
have it enough so I can't plug it off?
Yes, man,
how much is that?
Maybe
We don't know.
send a
they
recent
have
one.
them gagged.
I sent the
too.
reports.
Oh, it might be
on
cheaper.
Monday.
Well, it'd definitely be cheaper.
I know
than
we
one
can
than-
send it.
If we can get it to, deliver it.
They open the
So they
gate,
can go in the
set-
gates, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we should.
I think it's a great
They
idea,
can't burn them.
right? And they can't,
them.
and they can't lift
They
it.
can't bring the water, so they'll sink at the top.
Yeah. It's a really good idea, Steve.
Been
Step ladder though, safety,
Yeah,
it's a great idea, especially since you have much money to
I
use.
brought my shorter one in today and fixed that ceiling, because that chain was all wrapped around inside.
Oh,
the ceiling,
geez, yeah.
But it's not tall enough to get way up there.
You
Am I excused?
are.
Thank you.
Meeting adjourned.
So I'll check with Gagnon and see what they got and stuff.
Yeah.
Richard.
No, no,
that's him.
Hey, Richard, what's going on with Richard tonight?
Pretty cool.
So.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can,
Well, I just had a couple of questions.
sure, shoot.
Yeah.
Okay, when I'm driving up and down the road, I see these pickup trucks that have got people's names on them that are in business for one kind or another. And they go by me like I'm standing still usually. And I'm just wondering, are those considered commercial or residential tires?
It should be all residential tires.
Those would be residential tires?
No, 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 I said that's what we're expecting. So if somebody's got a, anything over 20 inches, it's not gonna be accepted.
Yeah, well, I don't know what size tires those pickup trucks have. They're pickup trucks, so they probably are legal.
Like there's a whole long. Yeah. I did not see anything, because I don't remember what we had for year to date. Did we do anything?
Okay.
No. Do we have any applications?
No.
And then my other question,
Sure.
I did have one application.
I was just wondering what you and Kathy and Lee, why you thought that there were so seldom, if ever, men that ran for the select board.
I have no idea why a man hasn't run for select board. They did. In my, when I ran, there were two men, Clarence and Lou.
Well, yeah, there was one time that Clarence ran, and then I guess Dave Bowen has run before, but it's almost
Dave Bowen?
almost never that you see a man running for select board, and it just strikes me as strange.
Well, step right up.
There we go.
Well, if I knew you were going to bring that up, and I was going to say that 10 or 12 years ago, I'm 81 now, I don't want to, but if I 10 or 12 years ago, I probably should have.
Can now, right? He'll be in another position next year.
Yeah, well, I'm 81 years old, and that's too late to get, and I got, my brain don't work that good anymore, so, but,
Oh, if you're
but
81 years old, maybe you should be running for president.
Right. Or
you know,
Angus King's
well,
job.
probably,
80 something.
probably.
What's that?
But I don't think I'm quite qualified for that job yet. I'll work on it.
Qualified doesn't seem to stop some people, so let's leave that right there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Richard.
Yeah, try to get some guy to run next time there's an opening.
Some good looking one.